Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Flight 96 podcast. I am your host, Hunter Foreman, and today we will be talking about my mid-year review of 2020 for hip-hop. Now, I can't talk about really everything that's happened because, some of this stuff has been compromised due to this pandemic that we've been going through and these trying times with with police brutality and the terrible death of George Floyd, which I would like to send my prayers and condolences to anybody who has lost a loved one or someone they knew through police brutality. And I hope someday we can all get through this and change the world. I can't stress that enough. As much as I don't want to, harp on this too much because it's very important that I get this message out. I want everybody, if you have a voice and you want it to be heard, please don't be afraid to speak out. Please don't be afraid to speak out. I had a really good conversation with my roommate yesterday about my stance on racism and everything. I don't want to get too deep into what we were talking about, but I do want to let you guys know that it was a very peaceful conversation, and it was a great conversation that hopefully one of these days we can revisit and definitely get in depth with it, because racism is still a very huge problem in this country and in the world. And I want everybody to know that I stand with you as a biracial man. I stand with you. I do understand, and I will. Any petition that comes my way or I seek out, I will sign with no hesitation. Black lives do matter. They've always mattered, and I love my black community, and the black side of my family, and I hope everybody can find it in their heart to stand up and contribute to the change, because change is needed now, and we need everybody to make this change happen. So and to all the protesters out there, to all the people who are speaking up and letting their voices be heard, you are heroes to me, and I support you, and I will do anything I have to contribute to this change. Now, on to the topic at hand today. 2020 has been an interesting year for hip-hop on both sides, on different spectrums, on the battle rap side and the music side. We've seen a huge influx of music. I mean, it seems like a lot of artists are releasing more music due to being quarantined, because that's all they can do. I mean, they could be trapped in if you're a rapper who's got an in-house studio, you should be living the life right now. You should be able to create some great music, and since you can't go anywhere. And we have gotten some great bodies of work even before this quarantine. We have been able to get some great bodies of work, and I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite bodies of work that have came out this year. One of them I did a previous album review on that you guys should go check out, which is the previous video that's been released on my YouTube channel, along with this episode if you're listening to. So before you actually listen to the rest of this, I suggest you go back and listen to my review of the Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist-ALFREDO collab album, because I don't want to talk about it too much, because I'll just let that review speak for itself. But let's get right into it. Since we already are on the topic. Yes, one of my coming in at number 3 as my favorite album of 2020 right now, during this mid-year recap, is Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist-ALFREDO collab album. I can't stress enough, Freddie Gibbs should be respected more in the game. I think he should be getting the respect like a Big Sean does, like a Kendrick Lamar does. I think he should definitely be put up there in that upper echelon of hip hop, because His lyricism, his rawness, his storytelling, and just the fact that he just doesn't care what anybody else thinks of him. He's going to tell his story whether you like it or not, because there are diehard Freddie fans out there, like myself, that love hearing his storytelling, love hearing his music. And plus, I think whoever helps Freddie pick out his beats, you're a good person. You're a good person, and I want you to know that. If Freddie Gibbs ever listens to this, or whoever, one of his people listen to this, I just want you to know whoever helps Freddie Gibbs pick beats, or if it's just Freddie Gibbs picking his beats all by himself, great job. Seriously, like throughout his catalog, that's one thing I've always noticed, that Freddie Gibbs knows how to pick good beats. The Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist collab album was 10 tracks, 35 minutes of pure hip hop at its finest. And if you are a traditional hip hop fan like I am, who really doesn't care about, Billboard charts or, singles or following the trends, this is the album for you. I urge you guys to listen to this. And that's basically all I'll speak for. But if you want to know more about it, please check out the why you should listen to video I did on it that I uploaded last week. Now on to number 2, an album that I ran back probably 4 times after it was released was Westside Gunn's "Pray for Paris." Now this album here, man, oh man, I could talk about this album for days. I remember giving a recommendation to a good friend of mine and a guest of the podcast by the name of Matt Lindsay, aka Derek. If any of you guys want to follow him on Instagram, I think his at name is Sip and Trip. I think I'll put his information in the description below. But "Pray for Paris" to me is one of the best pure hip hop albums I've heard in a minute. And when Westside Gunn said this isn't music, this is art, I immediately, yes, I understand, because not only is the cover art, and it was done by the one and only Virgil Abloh, the man who does Off-White. He's worked with Kanye West. The music goes with complements the cover art very well. I mean, you got features, of course, from Benny the Butcher and Conway the Machine. Of course, they were going to be on there. But you got Westside Gunn collaborating with Joey Badass, Tyler the Creator, Wale, Freddie Gibbs, Boldy James, and even Jay Versace, on the song Versace. Jay Versace, the Vine star, making an incredible beat that I would have never thought, that would happen. That was really out of left field. I'm not a really big Vine guy, not a big TikTok kind of guy, because I feel like TikToks ruin music a little bit. I feel like they ruin songs. And just to go on a little bit of a tangent for that, the reason I'm not saying that TikTok is bad, but just in my opinion, if you like a certain song, don't let anybody ruin it for you. For example, I deleted TikTok, got rid of it purely like I got rid of TikTok because people were trying to ruin Tootsie Slide for me. I think that's a fun song. I think it's a good song. I think it's catchy and I like it, and who cares if, people think I'm weird for liking that song, because it's what I like. So you can pound sand, when it comes to that. During that time, I also, liked the Doja Cat song, the Say So. That's an undeniable hit. That is a song with such an infectious vibe to it. Like you can't ignore that song. You can't. And what I mean by that is that you can't ignore that song is going to be successful. You can't ignore that song is a hit, because it is. And I actually like it. I think it's very catchy, and I think it's got a nice bounce to it. So shout out to Doja Cat for making a hit, and congratulations on making a hit and having your first number one. I think that's her first number one, or was the Cow song her first number one? I think the Cow song was their first number one, but I didn't take her seriously. But now I do take her seriously, and I'm interested to see what she comes out with next. I mean, I know she caught some flack for some certain things that she said, which I completely disagree with, but her music is undeniable at this point. So shout out to Doja Cat for that. But back to the topic at hand. Westside Gunn's Pray for Paris is undeniable. If you are a hip hop fan, and you have not listened to this, you are doing yourself an extreme disservice. Westside Gunn was able to capture a feeling, a vibe, and an essence that I haven't heard since the 90s, maybe, with Griselda. Like, Westside Gunn to me is the next hip hop genius. Like, he could follow in the footsteps of Kanye West, who can take over the creative, who can really, really dive deep into the creative direction when it comes to a person's project and when it comes to a person's music. If basically what I'm saying is that, if you have Westside Gunn executive producing your album, it's going to sound great sonically. Westside Gunn may not be a producer. He's a rapper. He may not be able to make the beats, but he knows what sounds good. He knows what looks good, and he knows what is going to sell on, if you're still in the ways of traditional hip hop. I mean, for God's sakes, Raekwon of the Wu-Tang Clan passed Griselda the torch. That's a big deal. A legend like that of Raekwon passing Griselda the torch, saying these guys are gonna, carry the ways of traditional hip hop into the next millennium. I think they already are doing it. I mean, they brought back that traditional old school raw hip hop New York sound back. And these guys aren't even really from the main parts of New York, the Harlems, the Brooklyns, the Bronx. They're from Buffalo. They're the first MCs out of Buffalo. And they're the hottest thing out right now. It's amazing what they do. Pray for Paris I have ran that album back 4 times at least. I mean, my favorite songs off of there: George Bondo, 327, Sean versus Flair, Claiborne Kick, and even in his own way, he even made a little dance, a little that could possibly be on TikTok, the Euro step, but still keeping the essence of hip hop in the song. So shout out to Westside Gunn and Griselda, man. You guys are definitely doing an amazing job of keeping the spirit of true hip hop alive today, but also keeping up with the times, So shout out to you guys. And number one, I have to say my favorite album of 2020 is Royce da 5'9's The Allegory. I was blown away when I learned after listening to. I listened to the album I knew that Royce was coming out with an album, and I was very excited. I saw the track list, and I said, "Oh my God! Not only is Griselda on there, but each Griselda member is featured on a different track." Okay, I'm interested, and then we have, and then I figure out that DJ Premier did some scratches on the block with Oswin Benjamin, which the song that Oswin Benjamin, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, is on, may be a fan of Oswin Benjamin. So having that said, the fact that I listened to this album the first time and I was blown away. I was like, wow. And then after I learned the fact that Royce produced every single beat on his album, made me respect this album more. The fact that that Royce can make a body of work like that with his own hands, making the beats, is just insane. I mean, if we were to go to some highlights from that album, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is the second track after the intro, which is Dope Man with Imani and Cedric Entertainer. You know, Cedric the Entertainer, who was on the Book of Ryan, who recorded some skits on the Book of Ryan. First of all, Royce, I think Cedric should always be on your album because he provides such a comfortable tone when he's on your album. Like he makes it like I'm about to go on an adventure. Like him narrating some of the stuff, like, you know, being a radio host, you know, perfect example on Bob Lobo on the Book of Ryan. That was great. I love that, you know, he's somewhat of a radio host on your album, and him playing that role made that album a really good listen. And I think Cedric the Entertainer did a really good job doing the same thing on this. You know, and we have Graph on there. We have Westside Gunn, Kid Vicious, which I believe is Royce da 5'9's brother. Ashley Sorrell, King Crooked. This Black Savage, to me, is production-wise Royce da 5'9's symphonic, like Kanye West grandiose production. Like, you know, it sounds like there's a lot going on in it. There's a lot going on in that song. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of different sounds in there that makes it sound so grand. It made it sound like it was like listening to a composer, you know, do his thing. And with Sci-Hi to Prince, Sci-Ari to Kid, which Sci-Ari to Kid deserves way more respect than he does because he's one of the best artists that doesn't get enough respect. If you guys haven't heard of Sci-Ari to Kid, that's SY space ARI space duh Kid. You need to go listen to him because he has an album called It Was Written that, whew. There's too much great. There's still a lot of music that has came out pre-COVID that still has flown under the radar, and that's one of the albums you guys should definitely check out. But the Allegory takes the cake for me. Like, I have never heard an album that has made me feel not only positive, but made me want to get out of my seat and do something with my life than Victory Lap. That was the last time that I got that feeling from an album. I get a feeling from this album that makes me want to be a better person. And I know that's a huge statement, and excuse me for a second. Let me gotta hydrate myself. But I haven't felt that type of vibe since Victory Lap. Like I remember when I first heard Victory Lap, rest in peace Nipsey Hussle. That album made me want to get off my ass and go make some money. Like, really get off my ass and go make some money. And the Allegory, when I heard the Allegory, the entire album, this album makes me want to be successful. It makes me want to get up and be the best person I can be, you know. And I'm very grateful that Royce put this together, and the fact that he produced every song on it. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Royce. I cannot wait. If I got to wait another 2 to 3 years to get an album like that, that's fine. I can wait. I can wait for that. But in the meantime, can you give us a bar exam mixtape, please? Please, Royce? I would love that. There's a lot of beats that I would love to hear you over that you can lyrically slaughter. So, yes. So, Freddie Gibbs and ALCHEMIST-ALFREDO, Westside Gunn's Pray for Paris, and Royce da 5'9's Allegory. Please go check those albums out. If you are a music fan, period, I think those albums are undeniable for anybody who loves music and has an appreciation for music just like I do. You should definitely go check those out. Switching gears to the battle rap side. Battle rap has taken quite a hit because we don't, because the crowd has been taken away from us due to the pandemic. We can no longer have events that have crowds, and we have resorted to these no crowd, just two MCs just battling. But also that makes me happy because that's hip hop right at its core. That's in its purest form. It is two MCs battling it out to see who's better. No crowd, no host, no grand production, nothing. Just this, just two rappers in the space between them, and that makes me happy. And I hope after this pandemic is over and after this quarantine is over, we can still do battles like that. I mean, yes, the crowd will be when we get back to having events with crowds. It's going to be great, and I can't wait to be able to go to events again. I was planning on going to King of the Dots Blackout event in LA, and possibly a bullpen event out in Atlanta. But due to the pandemic, that halted all of my plans. And hopefully, in the near future, I'll be seeing some of my fellow battle rap brethren and sisters at events. I can't wait to see all you guys again. I really can. I saw flashbacks of Gnome 9, and that was one of the best weekends I've ever, experienced. There was so much love. I mean, there was so much camaraderie. Everybody was so accepting. There was so much good energy in the air, so much good vibes in the air that it was infectious. And I met so many great people out there. So shout out to everybody who I met during the Gnome 9 weekend. I can't wait to see all you guys again in the very future. But let's talk about some battles that have happened during this. I mean, URL has done a great job providing us with these quarantine sterilized battles. First of all, shout out to Avocado and the Ruin Your Day team. They have given us these rooftop battles, no crowd, but just amazingly shot. We just got the first offering of the Quarantine Sterilized 2 card, which was B. Dot versus the Saga, which to me is the battle of the year. Oh my goodness. There is so much substance. There's so many bars. There's so much just good writing in this battle that you should subscribe to the URLTV app just for this battle. Please take my word for this. If you ever wanted to know what battle rap was all about in 2020, if there was a battle that to describe I can't even get the words out. If there was a battle that the world needed for this specific time that we are all going through in 2020, B. Dot versus the Saga is that battle, and I stand on that statement. I doubled down on it. I tripled down on it. That is the battle of the year. Now, most of you would say that the Geechee Gotti and B. Dot versus A. Ward and Loso 2-on-2 is the battle of the year. And my reply to that is that, okay, that's your opinion, and I'm not going to argue that opinion because that is also a great battle. But if you want to see two MCs who have been on a run for Saga's had one of the best runs in battle rap, period. B. Dot, who is just making his return back to the culture, having a great battle with NITTY back on URL, which I'll get to that battle in just a second. But B. Dot versus Saga, specifically B. Dot's first and Saga's third, I would spend $8, even if you just had it for a month, just to watch that battle, because it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. I don't see any battle right now competing with that unless I see New Jersey Twerk versus Danny, which I heard, Twerk called his first classic, which is insane to me. Out of all the great battles that Twerk has had, especially the one with the Twerk and Chilla Jones one. Man, again, if you guys aren't subscribed to the URLTV app, you really are missing out on some really good content. Like, seriously, you're really missing out on some good content. The Saga, has really great battles on there, especially with NITTY. Twerk has really great battles on there. B Dot has Saga and NITTY on there. All the Band Legacy 2 and 3 battles are on there. Born Legacy 7 and 6 are on there. There is just a lot of battles that aren't going to be released on YouTube that are on the app that I urge you guys, if you don't have the URLTV app, to please subscribe to. Because if you are a true battle rap fan, you are missing out on some really, really great content. Moving on to the next battle, we're going to talk about B Dot again, B Dot to me is the battler of the year right now. And B Dot versus NITTY. Bars. Just bars. Too many of them, too. I keep 100 on everything, like military time. And you know what's crazy? B Dot was the first person to give NITTY his first loss on the app. Isn't that crazy? Do you know how much talent you have to compete with NITTY on a writing standpoint? Do you know how hard you have to go to compete with a phenomenal writer like NITTY? I praise NITTY a lot. I do. That's because I truly believe in his talents, and I believe he is one of the best ever to do it, especially with the punches. But we all just forget sometimes that NITTY can really, really rap. He really does this. But then you turn it over to B Dot, and B Dot just shows you how it's done. Rooftop Dot is damn near unstoppable. Lux, where you at? Yeah, I said it. Loaded Lux needs to go to the rooftop to see B Dot. He needs to. We used to battle on the roof. The loser had to jump. Let's see what happens if you battle B Dot on the roof and who's jumping. I want it. I don't care if it's too soon. I don't care. It doesn't matter. B Dot versus Loaded Lux on the roof. After Surf battles him, Lux head to the roof. We need to hear that talk, because I think not only us battle fans would like that, but I think there's some people that are outside of the battle culture that would love to hear that conversation. And I am one of them. Even though I am a battle fan and a part of this culture, but for non-battle reasons, I would love to see those two just rap. Just rap. That's all I wanted. And that's what's great about these quarantine sterilized battles, man. It's just rapping. That's it. Nothing else. No crowd, no host, no nothing. Round 1, it's on you. All right, you're done. All right, you're done. Cool. Round 2, round 3. They're like, and the best part is these battles are like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 13 minutes. No crowd stoppage, nothing. You just you have to listen. And I hate to say it, some of y'all battle fans just don't listen. Y'all don't listen. Y'all possibly would go off of the crowd's reaction, like, oh, that was hot. And then, because there's been some times where I've seen an entire building erupt off of a bar that I was like, okay, no, that wasn't it. That wasn't it, Chief. I don't know why the crowd is going crazy. Maybe for shock value, but no, that ain't it, man. That ain't it. So, and then we go to me, one of a battle that's on YouTube that you can go see right now. Chef TREZ versus CHARRON. 3 rounds plus a 4th round, which is freestyle. You don't understand how much money I would have paid to be in the building to witness that history. The fact that Chef TREZ and CHARRON, a battle that nobody really thought was going to be there. I mean, we all knew it was going to be good. We knew it was going to be good, but we didn't know it was going to be this good. Keep it a buck. Nobody thought that Chef TREZ and CHARRON would be the best battle in the biggest weekend of battle rap. I mean, URL had the Genesis Caffeine event, and the same day RBE had to Get Back. Nobody thought that Chef TREZ and CHARRON would put on a performance of a lifetime against these two. I'm still speechless about that battle. I'm still very speechless about that battle because even the written material, I mean, it's mostly gained its popularity because of the freestyle and the 4th round of them just going after every 4 bars, just rebuttaling off and freestyling and just going off of each other, basically just feeding off of each other, just going back and forth. 4 bars, and then the next person spits 4 bars, freestyle. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch. I will never. The amount of brain power it takes for that to happen is just ungodly, and I want to just give a salute to CHARRON and Chef TREZ for giving us that, because for just giving us this battle, because YouTube.com, just type in Chef TREZ versus CHARRON. You will not be disappointed. Even if you're not a battle fan. If you've never watched battle rap in your life, please give it if you want to give it a shot. Chef TREZ versus CHARRON. You will not be disappointed. And last thing. I'm in the midst of, doing a little bit of reconstruction here at Flight 96 Studios, and am thinking about switching to a different platform for this podcast. I still have a little bit of research to do and to figure out all the bells and whistles that come with this new platform known as Anchor that a lot of people have recommended me to, and I've kind of just finally buckled down and said, you know what, let me see if I can give this a try. So coming soon, I will give a specific date and details and everything, but I will be switching to Anchor after the next couple of episodes. I would love to see what happens if I can make my 100th episode be uploaded on Anchor, but we'll see how fast I can get these episodes done, because I'm on episode 85, so it would take 15 more episodes for me to get to 100. But let me tell you guys right now, the 100th episode of Flight 96 will be a special one. That's not hidden with a message or anything. It doesn't matter. I don't even know who the guest is going to be, but I can guarantee you one thing. The Flight 96 100th episode special will be one to remember. Thank you all for the support. Again, teespring.com/flight96. Flight 96 clothing. During these hard times, please get yourself a t-shirt. I will be having a sale on Friday. So please help a brother out. These are designs that I have handcrafted and put together. If you want to spend some money on a good thing, on a person who loves what he does, go to teespring.com/flight96 clothing. And I will see you guys next week. Thank you.